What's going on? So I'm thinking why we are so weak as a society. Why do we move forward and we become weaker and weaker? Like all these trauma thing, right? That's going around. Being, living in a one-parent household. Your parents split up when you were young. You had some emotional or perhaps physical abuse. And it seems like that everyone is reacting to this as, oh my God, because of this trauma, this is why I've been doing X, Y, and Z after, kind of poor me. Okay, that's why I'm being this with abusive person. That's why I'm isolating myself. And I don't know if that's the right way of approaching it. I don't know if we necessarily need all of these cuddling around. At the end of the day, if you think about it, there is people that it's truly living a life of suffering. Think of poor countries. Think of the animals that are truly living their whole lives in a cage. Imagine living your whole life in a cage. Imagine having someone that takes your siblings from you when you're young, separate your family, and that's trauma. That's true trauma. And still, those animals, when they are saved and they go into a sanctuary, they enjoy life. Same thing with people in poor countries. People in poor countries where they enjoy life more. And I've been in Philippines, and Southeast Asia, so I've kind of seen poor people living there, and honestly, like most of the time, they are so much more chilled and happy than us in the Western world. Like in Europe, we don't have poor people here. You cannot be poor even if you're homeless. You're not fucking poor. Okay, like you have so much support. If you look for it, there's people in the street giving you money. You can buy food. You're not really living poverty. All right, you might having a harder time, but it's not real poverty. And like, why do I think this is wrong? Because I feel like most people when they use these traumas to not go hard in life, to not go hard. Like for example, it happens to me with ADHD. Okay, for me it's very hard to focus, and I'm doing all of these things, and I need to answer a lot of DMs. I need to create content, and honestly, guys, most of these things that I do, I don't like. So I like to create content, but when it comes to editing, when it comes to marketing on the DMs, even just being on my fucking phone is something that I don't like. And when you have ADHD, you have huge problems in focusing on things that I don't like, and my brain starts to think, oh, I have ADHD, so I should maybe it's better for me if I have if I take the medicine that's going to help me, that's going to helping me focus. And like, oh, I'm poor me that I need to go through this life with this burden, right? With having my brain going from one thing to the other consistently, and having so much difficulty into being focused. But then I realize, shit, man, just do it. It's fine. You get distracted. Just do it. You don't have to cry on yourself. You don't have to cry on yourself. Like, why are we so weak? Why can't we? Why the more comfort we have, the weaker we become, and the more help we look for. And when we do get strong, so from that I want to say that I'm on a journey to try and stop making excuses all the time when your life feels hard, especially when it comes to emotional damage. I think we are making emotions too much of a big deal, right? Like, just leave emotion through and forget about it. Just emotion, just feel sad, feel happy, feel anxious, just go through it, because at the end of the day, in order to make this emotion better, you have to recognize them, understand why you feel that way, and make your life better, right? So we're making it too much of a big deal, trying to solve trauma and emotion, thinking that you're going to heal your emotion when you should just accept them and move through life, I think. What do you think? Do you think I'm right? Let me know in the comments if what I'm saying is making some kind of sense. And the other thing that I've realized is that when people do realize that they need to go harder in life and they can do so much more and they are not victims, most of the time what people do is actually being selfish. So you go hard, but you go hard for yourself, and it becomes this race for the top comfort that you can have. What's the best freaking comfort that I can get in life? Is it 2 Lamborghini, 2 Porsche, 3 Ferrari, a huge building all for me, making millions? Instead of saying, how much good can I do? And this is also something that I'm trying to balance out, because on one side I'm thinking, right, I need to save myself, right? I need to save myself. And sometimes I spend a lot of energies in activism. It's time, it's mental energies that I put into activism. I'm not getting money out of it, so sometimes I'm thinking, shouldn't, and meanwhile I'm still haven't saved myself, right? I haven't gotten these stability financially, especially, and and so I think maybe I should save myself first and then do something that is kind to others. But then I realized, no, you shouldn't. It's important to do some good, and the thing that your situation right now is not optimal, and you're not completely, you're not feeling relaxed because your life is a struggle. Which, by the way, if we go back to what I said before, our life is not really a struggle. We are just being weak, right? I could say that my life is hard because I live in a small space. I live in a camper, and I don't have a house. But at the end of the day, my camper is cool. It's pretty comfortable, actually. I mean, there's people around me that live in smaller campers. So again, like, I don't understand why we make such a big deal of things that at the end of the day don't matter. We are living a comfortable life. So we should strive to stop crying about struggle, emotional struggle. Like stop crying about the fact that you are anxious, and understanding why you're anxious, which, by the way, if you're anxious, most of the time is because there's something that you have to do that you haven't done. So you see, like, just move through anxiety. If you're sad, it shouldn't be, and not motivating, it shouldn't be a reason why you stop doing things. You should act through that. You should act through sadness and low mood moments, right? And especially if you are a strong individual, if you realize that more needs to be done and it's time to shut down bullshit, then don't do it only for yourself. Realize that there is a lot of good to be done in the world, for humans, for animals, for the environment, because it's like yesterday, for example, there was a guy. He was cleaning around, like there is this parking where I am with the camper that people basically come in the weekend, and it seems it's shocking that in 2023 people don't know that you need to take care of your fucking rubbish, because it's bad. The environment is filled with plastic and we need to take care of it. However, there was all this rubbish all over the parking lot. And I always thought of taking a rubbish bag and clean around. But, you always have in your brains, like, yes, okay, you want to help, but I'm busy. I've got my things to do. And the reality is not. It's not. Helping is important, and you need to find the time to do something good. And so what I did was, I was working, so I had stuff to do, but I saw the guy, and I said, you know what? I'm going to dedicate some time in picking up rubbish. So I stood up, and I just did one bag of rubbish, and then I helped him pick up all the rubbish bags that he filled up, and I brought them to the bins, the rubbish bin, the waste bin. And and I think that's how you should approach life. We need to do some good, because doing some good without being paid for it is what makes tribes, is what makes community. Right? So yeah, stop being a bitch with all these emotions stopping you from doing things and crying about the reasons, crying about your trauma and your parents and your emotions, and do the job that you have to do. Like, start doing shit. And when you realize that you need to be harder, you need to face life with a tougher skin, start doing some good. Don't just be selfish. I understand that we live in a society where we have so many opportunities, and and we're selfish. It's fine. I think it's fine to accept that we are selfish, but we need to also fight that selfishness. We cannot just accept to be selfish all around. No, absolutely. I don't think that's fine. I think actually, despite what my parents said, like for example, I understood that for my dad, and perhaps for my mom as well, I don't know, but definitely for my dad, it's more important that I am successful, you know, that I'm self-sufficient, instead of kind of bringing the problems that and the worries that I might be bringing right now sometimes because I'm struggling with money. It's not really true. But apart from this, for me, I have realized that no, that's not what makes you a good, you know, that's what makes you a person of being proud of. You should be proud of yourself because you're doing some good. You're doing some work for free that it's having a positive impact to other individuals. I truly believe that this is what we should strive for. Thanks for listening, guys. If you're listening until here, please leave a comment on this. Let me know what are your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.